we're talking as you sat down, I said this thing could move a lot up or down depending on what these results are. That's
right, Scott. So it's kind of a classic biotech David and Goliath story. Mirati has a market value of about $3 billion. So, of course, in this tale, it is the David. And the Goliath is Amgen, which has a competing cancer drug going after the same target. It's so closely watched by Wall Street because this is a very exciting target in the cancer research community. It's called KRAS, and it's implicated in a number of different kinds of cancer, including lung cancer. Amgen has already presented some data on its drug, including going back to the big cancer conference ASCO in June, and Mirati is traded on reactions to that data. Now today, after the bell, we get the first look at Mirati's own drug out of the cancer research conference going on right now in Boston. And analysts say the stock could swing widely based on what we see. Leerink has the biggest range, guys, predicting the stock could move up 70% or down 60% at the extremes. Now, to get up that high, Leerink says the drug would have to appear superior to Amgen's, and in the worst case, of course, the drug wouldn't work or would have safety issues. But many I'm speaking to say they expect something in the middle. Jared Holtz at Jefferies says the company's been articulating more caution coming into the event in terms of how many patients will actually be included in the update. So, guys, it could be a lot less conclusive than many would hope.
Yeah, you know this name? You follow it?
I only because it's up so much. I haven't gotten involved in it. I was looking at the options. There's nothing that trades, but looking at the 80 calls expiring November 15th, they're $11.50. That means you've got to get to $93 just to break even in a short period of time. Of course, you'll get there tonight or you won't. So it's really binary.
Even if many of these things are.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, you've played some of these names before. You know as well as anybody how binary it is.
Yeah, I tend to be in ones where it's not bet the company on the result, where there are other drugs in the channel. So you may get a sell-off. You will get a sell-off, but at least you can come back. But they typically trade down to cash when they have one product and they miss.
I'm glad you mentioned the options. We have Pete Najarian from Minneapolis joining us now. What do you see with the options market ahead of the data? Have you seen a bunch of trades, Pete?
Yeah, there is a lot of trading, Scott. As a matter of fact, one of the things that Meg just mentioned was some of the swings that are the expectations, talking about 60 or 70%. The options don't reflect that, but the options are reflecting a reaction that's going to be something that pushes it at least 30% up or down. That's what they're telling us right now, because when you add all of that up, Scott, the 80 calls that Steve was referencing, the 80 calls and the 80 puts, you're talking about $20+. That's the expected move going into this number. If you go back to June, that's when Amgen came out, and that's when the stock went from 105 down to the levels where it is right now. So a positive result is something that the options are reflecting right now. And the reason I say that is about 500 total puts so far today have traded. Almost everything in November. If you look at the calls, almost everything in November, about 10,000 calls. Now, cut that in half, because what we're seeing is very smart style trades where you're buying and then selling multiple strikes up above. And when you're doing that, you're giving yourself a little bit of a hedge so you don't have quite as much exposure. So the 105, 125 call spread, that was pretty big. The 115 to the 150, that was pretty big. I participated in this as well because I like the risk reward. If you can buy one option and sell one at an incredible premium to the upside, that cuts down on the exposure going into this number. And I think if you return towards those numbers back in June and July, this could really be something special. But it's absolutely the call activity way outweighing anything we're seeing in puts today.